Dear Liberal friends, I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to address you through this video message for this very important seminar that you're holding on the mechanisms for upholding the rule of law, democratic governance and fundamental rights in the European Union. Because it's really strange. It is actually Article 2, the first substantial article in the treaties that talks about democracy, fundamental rights, human rights, the rule of law. And that indicates that it's actually the most important element of European integration. And yet, when it comes to putting Article 2 into practice, the European Union is actually passive. We impose fines when somebody is, for example, violating competition rules, cartel rules, but when somebody is violating human rights, then the European Union turns a blind eye, and it has very few instruments to actually enforce fundamental rights, the rule of law and democratic governance. And therefore, the ALDE group in the European Parliament has proposed the creation of a so-called Democratic Governance Pact. It's a bit like the Stability and Growth Pact in the Eurozone, which is meant to enforce the rules on budget discipline and economic reforms. And it provides the European Union with mechanisms to ensure that every year there are economic reforms implemented, and every year we monitor the compliance with the fiscal discipline rules. Now, we need something similar to monitor the compliance with the rule of law, democratic governance and fundamental rights. The Democratic Governance Pact proposed by the ALDE group would have, for example, a scoreboard. And every year we would monitor the compliance of the member states on a set of, let's say, 15 indicators. Things like freedom of expression, freedom of the media, equal opportunities, the rights of NGOs, anti-discrimination, independence of the judiciary, etc., etc. And this way we can monitor every year which country is in full compliance, in which areas there may be risks for fundamental rights and the rule of law, and in which areas there is definitely a red alert, and the European Commission in such cases would actually send a notification to that member state, give that member state the opportunity to mend its ways, and if not, then the European Commission or the European Union can impose sanctions. The ultimate sanction being Article 7 in the treaties, which is a mechanism that could lead to the suspension of a member state. But that is, of course, the nuclear option. So the scoreboard and the Democratic Governance Pact would actually provide us with a mechanism leading up to Article 7. We should also every year have a debate in all the member state parliaments and in the European Parliament about the state of fundamental rights, the rule of law and democracy in the European Union and in the individual member states. Because that would already, give us an image every year, it's like a photo every year of the state of democracy, the rule of law and fundamental rights. And it would also give us, some peer pressure, because member states, even if in some cases they have difficulty with upholding the rule of law and fundamental rights, at the same time they also don't want to look bad compared to the others. So this would be a very useful instrument that doesn't even require legislation. In the European Parliament, we want to elaborate something like the Democratic Governance Pact, or give it another name, a mechanism or a scoreboard for monitoring respect for democracy, the rule of law and fundamental rights. And I hope that the European Commission is also going to come forward with legislative proposals in this area. Because if you think about it, we set the standards very, very high for countries that want to join our family, that want to join the European Union. But for the members of the European Union, the standards are much lower. We see countries like Hungary, for example, where democratic governance, the rule of law and fundamental rights are not upheld. We have very, very grave concerns about the situation in Hungary, and I'm actually pleased that ALDE will be meeting for its annual congress on the 19th to the 21st of November in Budapest, lovely city by the way. because I think it is very important that the ALDE family actually shows that the European Union is not just a customs union or an economic community. It is first and foremost a community of values. Now that is why it is important that you're having this meeting today and you are discussing mechanisms for the enforcement of democratic governance, the rule of law and fundamental rights. And I hope that ALDE will remain leading on this issue. We will do our bit in Parliament. You will do your bit during the meeting. So I wish you a very, very good meeting and hope to see you in Budapest in November. Thank you.